So what are printers? Printers is an output device. Another type of monitor is called thin film transistor. It is one of the technology. What is hard copy? The information is printing on the paper or any other media are called as hard copy. The main concept in impact printer is there will be a striking device, nothing but printhead, and printhead is made up of number of pins. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Students, let us start our discussion with the session 2, and here in this session we are going to cover the topics output devices. Now you know what is output? What is the output? The result of any calculation is output. After data processing, we get the result, that is information, that is nothing but output. And here, what is output devices? It is a device through which user can display his result or information. So this is output devices. Now let us see the definition and other different output devices. Output devices. Output is the result or information that obtained after data processing. So what we get after data processing is nothing but result or information, and before data processing is data. Now the information must be presented in the human understandable form. So as all of us know that the computer works only with binary numbers or maybe in terms of machine level languages. So all the information or the result, it should be displayed to the user, that should be in user understandable form. So whatever the result displayed through output devices, that has to be understood by the user. So the information must be presented in the human understandable form, is capable of presenting information onto the output devices. So output devices helps us to, or it helps the user to get the meaningful result or information. Now example, monitors and printers are commonly used output devices. Now let us see the next output device. One of the output device is monitor. Now all of you are familiar with the monitor. It is almost like a TV. So a monitor is a common use output device, and sometimes it is called as display screen or visual display unit or VDU. So another name of monitor is VDU, visual display unit, or it is a display screen. So it is going to display the result or information after data processing, and it provides a visual display of the data. And monitors are connected with the computer. Of course, this monitor has to be connected to the CPU of computer system. So this is a monitor. Now we can see the monitor of this shape or these type of monitors. And when we talk about few years back, and these monitors used to come only with monochrome. Monochrome in the sense it is a black and white. Now we can imagine around 10 years back, 15 years back, how was your computer or how was your TV? You can compare this with the TV, and people used to watch or this black and white TV, that is nothing but monochrome TV. So it is, as monitor is almost functions like TV, so it is a monochrome monitor. So monochrome meaning is a single color, that is black and white. And we have monitors that display colors. Nowadays, as and when there is a improvement in the field of science and technology, now we can see, and monitors display images and text. This is what the result is. So after data processing, the result may be in different form. All those forms of information can be displayed through output devices or the monitor, and it can be images or text. The smallest dot that can be displayed is called the pixel. The full form of pixel is picture element. Now you might have observed whenever you are watching TV, if at all if there is a sudden power shutdown, or if suddenly if your monitor or your TV goes off, immediately you can see that a small dots over it. Or when you on the TV, immediately for few seconds you can see a small dots over the TV or the monitor. Those small dots are called pixels, and the resolution of the screen improves as the number of pixels is increased. So here, because as we can see so many dots on the monitor, so these, if there are more number of pixels or more, that improves the resolution of the monitor. Now how can we say the monitor is good, or how can we say this monitor is not good? Or sometimes we have come across an example where we cannot see any of the images or any data may not be very clear. Then it is understood that so resolution of the monitor is not up to the mark, or we can say the resolution is very less. So as and when there are more number of pixels are increased, it increases the resolution of the screen. So once the resolution of the screens is increased, obviously we will get a good quality of the pictures or a text. So or we can see or it display good quality of images or text. So this is another term is resolution. Now the most of the monitors have a 4:3, that's a width to height ratio. This is called aspect ratio. This is called aspect ratio. This is 4:3. It is with respect to width and height of the screen. So this is called aspect ratio. And the number of pixels that can be displayed vertically and horizontally gives the resolution of the monitor. So as we have seen in the previous slide, resolution. So what is the resolution? Resolution is nothing but the number of pixels that can be displayed vertically and horizontally gives the resolution of the monitor. So here, if the number of pixels are more or increased, then it improves the resolution of the monitor so that we can get the quality display. Now the resolution of the monitor determines quality of the display. Just that's what I told you just now. So the quality of the displays improves when the resolution is increased. Now some popular resolutions are 640 into 480. So this is how we measure or we represent resolution of the monitor. So 640 into 480 and 800 into 600 and 1024 into 768. These are all different resolution of different types of monitors. Now the size of the monitor is measured diagonally, maybe 12 inches, 14 inches, 17 and 21, etc. It's based on the technology. Now we know how can we measure the size of the monitor. It is diagonally. You see, suppose from here to this one point and from this point. So this is the diagonal. So we are going to measure the size of the monitor diagonally. And now we know that we have different sizes of the monitor from 12 inches to even nowadays we can see very big monitors of even more than 21 inches also. Now as we have seen, you are familiar with different types of monitors. Here look at this. This is CRT monitor. So this is CRT stands for cathode ray tube. Now this is the image of cathode ray tube. Now this is CRT monitors. They were using it at the beginning of the computer. The first computers, the microcomputers, even few maybe 20-25 years back, we were using these type of monitors, and it was very big. It is almost just, you can imagine the old TV at your home. like around 20 years back, is a TV. It was a very big TV. These are called as CRT monitors. Here, CRT stands for cathode ray tube. See, this is the main component which was present inside this monitor. So, it used to work with this technology. It is called as CRT monitors. Now, look at this. This is TFT monitors. Another type of monitors called thin film transistor. It is one of the technology. Nowadays, you're familiar with LED, light emitting diode. See, this is the new technology now. Nowadays, we are using LED monitors, and this is LCD monitors, liquid crystal display. So, these are all different technologies we are using in our output device, a monitor. So, these are all different types of monitors. Now let us move on to next one more output device, that is printers. Now all of you are familiar with printers, and you might have come across different types of printer. So what are printers? Printers is an output device. It is an output device, and it prints text or images on paper or other media like transparencies. By printing, you create a what is known as hard copy. So, what is hard copy? The information is printing on the paper or any other media are called as hard copy. So, printer is an output device, is going to print the text or images. It is called as hard copy. Now, there are different kinds of printers which vary in their speed and print quality. Now, we can have different types of printer based on its speed and quality of printout or hard copy. Now, mainly there are two types. One is impact printers and non-impact printers. So, the main two categories or types of printers are impact printers and non-impact printers. Now, let us see what are impact printers. Impact printers. Impact printers include printers that print by striking device against inked ribbon. So, what is the impact printers? Impact printers are the printer. It is going to print by striking device against an inked ribbon. Now, you might have heard a typewriter. Now, before printing technology, we were using typewriters. The typewriter which works like printers. The printers are used to work like typewriters. So, in typewriter, you used to have number of keys. As soon as you press any key on the typewriter, it is going to hit on the paper through the ribbon. So, the same technology we are using in impact printer. Now, impact printers use print head. It's containing a number of metal pins and which strike an inked ribbon placed between the print head and the paper. And what is the technology is, each printer comes with a print head. It is nothing but printed. What is this printed? Printed is a device. It contains number of metal pins, or this printed is made up of number of pins, and those are the pins is going to strike an inked ribbon. Normally in a printer, you might have seen that we are going to insert a paper, and if we talk about impact printers, there is a ribbon. So in front of the ribbon, the paper is inserted, and as soon as we give the print command, the printed will be active, and the pins in the printed is going to strike the ribbon so that we get the impression. So that is why here the ribbon is placed between the printhead and the paper. We get the impression. So this is how we get the printout. Now the line printers, dot matrix printers are some of the impact printers. The main concept in impact printer is there will be a striking device, nothing but printhead, and printhead is made up of number of pins. And as and when the print command is given, those particular pins in the printhead will be active. It is going to hit or strike the ribbon so that we get the impression on the paper. So that is how this impact printer functions. Now let us see what are the characteristics of this impact printers. In impact printers, there is a physical contact with the paper and produce an image. Obviously, whenever if you want to get impression on the paper, so the pins in the printhead is going to directly hit the ribbon so that we get the impression. So there is a direct contact between printhead and the paper. That is one of the characteristics of this impact printers. And due to the being robust and low cost, they are useful for bulk printing. So these impact printers, we are using it for bulk printing. Means if you want to have number of copies of printout, or where we want to have thousands of printouts, there we are using this type of printer, and it is very of low cost. These impact printers are ideal for printing multiple copies, and it is nothing but carbon copies. Now, you might have come across examples. Now, in impact printers, we can make use of carbon paper so that we can get a multiple copies of the printout at a time. And because they can easily print through many layers of the paper, because it is going to, the pins in the printer, it is going to strike the ribbon. So because of that, it is possible for us to get an impression through multiple layers or multiple papers. Generally, impact printers are used for multiple copies of printout. Due to its striking activity, impact printers are very noisy. This is very noisy printout because it is going to the print head, or the pins in the printhead is going to strike the ribbon. It makes noise, so it is very noisy. And since they are mechanical in nature, they tend to be slow. Because there is a mechanical device, there we are using printhead and pins and other things. So because of that, it is very slow. Impact printers are very slow. And impact printers do not support transparencies. Next one is, it measured with characters per second. And we can measure the speed of the printer by its printing characters per second. So this is the unit to measure speed of the printer. So these are the few characteristics of impact printers. So in impact printers, there is a striking technology, or there is a pen. It is going to hit the ribbon directly. We get the impression, and it is very noisy. Even today also we are using these type of printers in a small provision store, or maybe in small shops. We are using these type of printers or impact printers. That is nothing but dot matrix printer. Now let us move on to next one, that is characteristics of non-impact printers. This is another type of printer, that is non-impact printers. So what are non-impact printers? Non-impact printers do not use striking devices. So as we have seen in the previous slide, or with the impact printer, there is a striking device or a printhead or a pin. It is going to hit or strike the ribbon. But in non-impact printers, we don't have these striking devices. The ink or semi-solid ink is stored in the printer cartridges, and the flow of ink is controlled by the processor, which is much faster and can print colors, different font and size also. This is one of the properties of non-impact printers, and there is no striking device. If there is no striking device, so they use ink or semi-solid ink. It will be stored in the cartridges. Here we are using printer cartridges. These cartridges comes with different colors, and different colors for color printout. And there will be one black and white cartridge, as well as one more cartridge is of colors. So non-impact printers, they will make use of printer cartridges. These cartridges comes with different colors. One is black and white and with different colors. And all these activities are controlled by the processor inside this device or non-impact printer. And with the help of non-impact printer, it is possible for us to get a color printout and different font and different size also. So this is one of the characteristics of non-impact printers, and they are quite than impact printers because there is no striking mechanism. As there is a striking mechanism in impact printers, as I told you, it is a very noisy or it makes a lot of sound. But here in non-impact printers, there is no mechanism of striking against to the ribbon, so it is very quiet, means it won't make any noise. So they possess the ability to change the type phases automatically, and these printers produce high quality graphics as compared to impact printers. These non-impact printers which produce high quality graphics. These printers usually support the transparencies. These printers cannot print multi-part of forms because no impact is being made on the paper. And the meaning is here, this non-impact printers, it is not possible to print multiple copies of the printout. But in impact printer, it is possible to have number of copies or multiple copies of the same printout by using carbon copy. And these measured in dots per inch. The speed is calculated by number of pages per minute, this ppm. Now the size of the printing varies from A4, A3, A2 and jumbo size. These non-impact printers, with the help of non-impact printers, it is possible to get the printout of different size. So these are all non-impact printers. Now here types of printers, and we have a line printer. This line printers, if you look at this, the diagram here, this is line printer is an example for impact printer. So line printer is an example for line printers are high-speed printers capable of printing an entire line at a time. Actually, this line printer is an example of impact printers. So in impact printers, there is a striking mechanism. So in line printer, it is going to print entire line at a time. So that is one of the feature of line printer. And a line printer can print 150 lines to 3000 lines per minute. See, this is the speed of line printers. So line printer is going to print 150 lines to 3000 lines per minute. And the limitation of the line printers are they can print only one font. They cannot print graphics. And generally, normally we use impact printers only to print a document or a text, and we are not using this to print a graphics. The print quality is low and they are noisy and operate. As this line printer is an impact printer, it is very noisy and quality is less as compared to non-impact printers. And it is also used to print multi-part stationaries to prepare copies of a document. So it is also possible to have multiple copies using line printer. So line printer is an example for impact printer. Now let us see the another printer is dot matrix printer. So dot matrix printer is it is also an example for impact printer. It is also an example for impact printer. So what is the meaning of dot matrix printer? Here, this dot matrix printer, here the most popular serial printer is dot matrix printer. Here we say dot matrix printer. These impact printers or dot matrix printer used to print the information in the form of dots. So you might have seen that suppose if you want to print a letter A, and this letter A in impact printers or dot matrix printer, it is made up of dots. So for example, it can be like this. Suppose this is A. So this letter A is printed with the dots. We get the good quality of the printout or in the dot matrix printer if the distance between two dots is very less. So if the distance between two dots are very large or small, then we are not able to get a quality printout. So here in dot matrix printer, if we want to get the good printout or the good quality of the printout, then the distance between the two dots must be very minimum. So if you see the printout of dot matrix printer, then you can make out, see, and all the letters or characters is made up of number of dots. So that is a dot matrix printer, and it prints one line of 8 or 14 points at a time with the print head moving across a line. And there is a print head, as we have seen in the impact printers. That print head moves from left to right and right to left. It is a print one line of 8 to 14 points at a time. And they are normally very slow. Dot matrix printers are very slow. And the printing speed is around 300 characters per second. The speed of this dot matrix printer is 300 characters per second. It uses multiple stationaries to prepare copies of document, and this is impact printers, so it is possible to have multiple copies of the document. So this is dot matrix printer. Now let us move on to another type of printer. This is thermal printer. So these thermal printers belongs to non-impact printers. It is example for non-impact printer. As per the definition, in non-impact printers, there is no striking device. They will use print cartridges with black and white and color ink. So the one of the technology is the thermal printer. In thermal printers or printers that produce images by pushing electrically heated pins against a special heat sensitive paper. And here, how do we get a printout? Here, this technology is it produces image by pushing the electrically heated pins against the paper. And here, for a very good example for this student is nowadays if you get a bus ticket, okay, the bus ticket, or if you have an ATM, the receipts what you get, all these are example for thermal printer. And these thermal printout or information is printing on the paper, that is called thermal paper. So this is the technology, and they are inexpensive and used widely even for fax machines, and for calculator. The thermal printer paper tends to darken over time due to exposure to sunlight and heat. So the printed matters on the paper fade after a week or two. So the information is going to print on thermal paper, and the information whatever we get, it may not be there for long time, or we cannot store it for long time because it is going to fade after weeks because of sunlight and heat. And it also produces a poor quality of printout. So this is a thermal printer example for non-impact printer. Next one is laser printers. Nowadays everywhere we are using laser printer with laser printout. So a laser printers use a laser beam and dry powdered ink to produce a fine dot matrix pattern. So this is another technology, it's called laser printers. So here they use laser beam, and inside that they have a dry powdered ink. It will be inside the cartridges. So with the help of this, you will get a good quality printout, and it can produce very good quality of graphic images. And one of the chief characteristics of laser printer is their resolution. So you know what is resolution? We have learned the definition in monitors. So how many dots per inch DPI they lay down? It depends on the resolution. If the resolution is high or it is more, we get a good quality of printout or good quality images. And the available resolution range from 300 dpi at the low end to around 1200 dpi at the higher end. So the range from 300 to 1200 dpi, this is dots per inch. So if the resolution is high, we get a better quality images or printout. Laser printer, one of the non-impact printer. Next one is inkjet printer. Now we can see image of this inkjet printer. Inkjet printer use a color cartridge which combine with magenta, yellow and cyan inks to create color tones. So here we use our toners or cartridges. So this inkjet printer use color cartridges. These are the base color of this printer. And a black cartridge is also used for crisp monochrome output. Here a black color or a black cartridge is also used along with color cartridge. And inkjet printers work by spraying ionizing ink at a sheet of paper and magnetized plates in the ink's path direct ink onto the paper in the described shape. Here what the technology here is? Here inkjet. So here the technology is that it has a small jet-like thing here. So through the jet, a colored ink or ionizing ink are passing through the jet and it sprays over the paper with a definite size or definite shape. That is how we get the printout in inkjet printer. Now let us move on to one more device is called plotters. A plotters, you can see the image of that here. This plotters is an output device and that draws a picture on paper based on commands from a computer. This is another type of output device. It's called plotters. You can see image of this and these draws the pictures on the paper based on the commands from the computer. And plotters differ from printers that they draw lines using a pen. And here in plotters, they will be having a pen and as a result, they can produce continuous lines. And multicolor plotters use different colored pens to draw different colors. And here, these plotters or output devices will be having pens and with the help of pens, they used to draw a continuous images without any break in between. That is one of the difference between printers and plotters. And in general, plotters are considerably more expensive. It is more expensive than printers. They are used in engineering applications where precision is mandatory. Actually, these plotters are used by architects where they have to draw images of very big buildings or maybe very flyovers or bridges, whatever it is. So generally these plotters are used by architects to get a good printout or a good drawings or images. And it is quite expensive as compared to printers. Next we move on to one more device called speakers. Now all of you know what are speakers. So speakers are the output unit, output device. The sound signals from analog and digital are converted into audible frequency in the speaker and produce voice output or audio data. So the speaker, it is an output device, it is produce an audio data. And using speakers along with the speech synthesizer software, the computer can provide voice output. So with the speakers, we can make use of the software to get a voice output. And the latest speakers are crystal clear audio. Today the speakers are with subwoofer and 2, 3, 4 speakers. Nowadays we can even maybe at home, what we call it home theater system, whenever you talk about home theater system, it comes with number of speakers and a small device called woofer. So if you talk about 2, 3, 4 speakers and with one woofer for a good effect of sound. So this is a speaker, one of the output device. Students, in this session, we have discussed about different types of output devices, and let us continue our discussion in my next session. Thank you very much.